Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to episode number 226 on the 26th of June 2020. This is a very special episode because not only are we celebrating 2 years of this talk show, but today I have a guest all the way from Singapore joining me, a friend who I have known for a quarter of a century. So let me welcome Sahil from Singapore. Sahil, welcome to the talk show.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Last time we met was around 2013 in Singapore,
Wow.
about
So
7 years ago.
you remember that I lost the track of time. So 7 years.
Yeah, you along with Mohit Sarthak are the only ones and the only connection I have to Goenka. Otherwise, there is not
More
much
than
conversation
other,
about that.
right? Yeah, yeah. Are you
Because I
still in
had
touch?
interviewed, because I had a similar discussion with Sarthak also a couple of
Oh,
months
so
back.
you have. Okay, nice. What about Mohit? Are you in touch with Mohit?
Have you heard of this organization called Toastmasters?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a member of that place for almost 5 years. So I've invited him to a meeting. So he'll be coming on that. We had planned to
Nice,
meet
nice.
somewhere in March, but
Yeah.
due to, because there was a lockdown and everybody was little afraid to meet, so we decided to postpone our meet, and it's been postponed since March. That
Yeah.
and you must have been on various social media platforms. Goenka had its 25th anniversary last year. They had invited all the alumni.
I am on the WhatsApp group.
Yeah,
But I keep getting the messages. But dude, I live in Singapore, so it's a
but that
long
was the
way.
only thing that was the most revered thing about 2019 before things changed dramatically. But that was something interesting because it wasn't about going back to school. School was more about meeting people whom we haven't met in years, like Damanjeet, Vithal, Praful. They were all there. So it was a quite an
Actually,
interesting meet.
actually, three people I have met, all three of them in Singapore.
All
Um,
right. That's interesting.
Honestly, you name those three people that I met in Singapore.
Damanjeet.
So yeah, so he came one time. I remember he came for the weekend. We had a crazy time. Like it was, I don't remember. And then even Praful, I've met him a few times because his brother lives there, so he keeps going coming down.
For you, what has been the biggest change in these last 4 months? What has been different before that and different during these 4 months?
Everything has changed, like life is obviously not the same as it was before. Um, like I think it's like I think that before COVID-19 it was a different life, and I think now it's a different life. So um, but I don't mind it. I would have rather been in India right now, been in Delhi, been with families. I'm trying to kind of come back. Maybe as soon as they start flights, I'm gonna try to come. The only problem is this quarantine. Like they say that they will put if you have like high temperature or something, they'll put you in quarantine, which is that's something I don't want to get myself involved in because you never know. Even if my temperature is okay, even if I'm feeling okay, my temperature might be high, and they will just unnecessarily put me in quarantine. So I'm just taking it easy, staying here. But as soon as things cool down, I will try to fly
When they
back.
do ease, and if there's a possibility, we'll try and meet again because I think you had planned to come somewhere in 2018, but the plans changed.
Yeah.
We had some
Um,
year of plans.
yeah, no, so I was actually flying back to Delhi frequently. I would fly, um, every few months. But then this lockdown happened, and I'm just stuck here. So hopefully soon I'll get to see my family again.
So you told me that you are in the business of recruitment. So is it different from what it was? I mean, is it more virtual?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything has changed. So earlier, all the companies would want to meet the candidates, have a face-to-face interview, but obviously they can't do that. Like it's not because they don't want to, but it's just not allowed by the government to have face-to-face interviews in Singapore. So everything is like this, Zoom, video calls, and mostly just online. So I think things are changing and everything is becoming online.
So when
As
you interview a candidate face to face and when you do the same thing on video call, what is one thing that is missed out between them?
of course, because it's not the same. I think when you're in front of the person, I think you can really try to gauge and understand and see his emotions and try to understand his body language and personality. But I think like this over video call online, I think it's obviously not the same. It's just but ultimately it's about getting the hiring the right person, and I think it can be done this way as well, although it's not the most preferred method. But given the circumstances, I think we have to just go with
I've been
Zoom.
reading in
Zoom call.
newspapers, magazines that the definition of workplace is going to change. There's going to be no interactions near the water coolers. They're going to limit interactions, make sure that staggered timings. Is your company also looking towards that?
Um, yeah, I think everything is changing. So the interview process mostly it's they so I mostly recruit within the IT space, technology space. So there's a lot of interview processes. One they don't, because I think if it's a sales role, it's like one, two rounds. But if it's like a technical role, we have 4 rounds, 5 rounds. Sometimes you have to go through writing technical codes and technical assignments. So it's a long process.
On an average, through video calls, how much time does it take for you to get the whole process done? Is it like one candidate per day? Because the way you describe it, it can take 4 to 5 hours per individual.
No, it goes on for, sometimes it can go from weeks to months. So the interview processes are all the way from, sometimes the candidates will be hired in a couple of days if they really like the person. But if you have a lot of pool of candidates, you can um, go on to like few months till you find the right person.
So I also heard that you have traveled to over 65 countries. So how was the cultural experience? What all countries have you gone to?
Oh, I have done everything. I've done all the continents, including Antarctica. I have also been there. Um, so that was one good thing about living in Singapore was easy access to flights and countries around Asia. So especially Southeast Asia, you have so over the weekends I'll just catch a flight, fly to Cambodia, fly to Thailand, fly to Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia. You have so many options. So um, that's what I did. All my life here, I've just been traveling. It's been really good. So I have done everything. I think the only place I need to see more is India, because I think that's one place I've been missing out. I've been like seeing all over the world, but I haven't kind of focused on my country.
Let's hope I see you again face to face in India, but let's wait for that thing to happen because there's a lot to discover here. I also haven't seen all the towns, maybe the smaller towns, the temple towns, the cultural places. But I hope that once this thing subsides over the next 3 to 4 months, I'll be able to visit and watch all the places. So I have visited most of North India. I've covered the entirety of North India. The only one that is left is probably the side of Odisha or somewhere in Gujarat. But let's see what happens.
Actually, I've also done a lot of North India. So my parents, as we were growing up in Goenka, my parents would. My dad loves to travel and he loves the mountains. So you would probably have noticed that although we graduated from the same school, I was probably not as present in the school as you were. Like I would take a lot of off days, even during the board exams. So that was two things. So the one was my shooting, which kept me very busy because I just be, I'd go home, I'd go to school, come back home, go to the shooting range, shoot for hours, come back, do my homework, sleep, um, go to the shooting range. But traveling was something that was also my parents were really fond of. So I would be accompanying them all the way to Himachal and Kashmir and all these places. So I've done almost all of the North India.
Same here. Kashmir has been covered, Rajasthan has been covered,
Yeah,
uh, Uttar Pradesh has been covered, all the religious and the spiritual sides have been covered. So yes, I do remember you, and I think Ranjit were kind of absent from school, but still we have
right.
known each other for long enough that we are here talking today because it's not possible unless you know somebody for almost quarter of a century. It's been almost, I think we met somewhere in 94 or 95 in class 2 or 3. So we have been there long enough to know each other. So that's also quite an achievement to know someone for 25 years. That's almost 75% of one's life till now. I'm around 31, so knowing you for 25 years is also something that I feel that is something
Yeah, no,
to
it's
have.
when you put it like that, it's a long time. I have actually been in touch with Dhruv. Dhruv Biswas from school, and he also mentioned, that we've known each other for 25 years or something. And when he told me that, I was like, wow, that's a very long time.
So, apart from your recruitment work, which keeps you busy, what all do you do as your hobbies? I mean, I have seen your profile that you are interested in running. So, do you run these days? Do you go out for a jog?
Uh, so I would, go to the gym, work out, but um, use the treadmill there. But because Singapore is a very hot country, we don't have seasons here. So, January is as hot as, excuse me, it's as hot as July. So it's the same temperature throughout the year. So I would run a lot, but these days I think my exercising is kind of on a hold. But I like to work out still, so I just do a bit of push-ups and stuff at home, inside home, whatever I can do. But running I haven't done in some time. I'm looking forward to going back, um, getting back on the treadmill.
That's interesting. So, no gyms during this time. At work means exercise at home.
Yeah, exercise at home. But the good thing is I'm learning new things because I've never worked out from home before. Doing a bit of yoga, which I've never done before. So it's been good change, I would say, in a way.
Just the
I'm
other
learning
day on 21st, it was the International Yoga Day, which was also done in a different manner. It was done in the virtual world where everybody was on their phones and electronic devices doing their various positions. So, talking about something new, any new dishes you have learned during this time because you have been at home?
dishes
Yes.
like to eat.
Yes. Cooking new food.
Oh no! So the thing in Singapore is that you have been to Singapore. I'm sure you know Singapore. So there's so much food everywhere in Singapore. Like you have food courts at every corner. You have restaurants, all kinds of cuisine, whatever you feel like. So there's so many options here that even local Singaporeans they don't eat at home, so they all go outside to eat. So I've never had the need to learn to cook, and so I hardly cook at home. It's all from outside, but and they're all very hygienic. So even during this time, COVID period, there's a lot of delivery options. So and good hygienic food, and there's no problem uh, getting food.
Well, it's been a while since I've been to the mall, but it's something I don't feel like I miss it because then it had become quite uh, routine for me. But over the past 100 days, I haven't been to a mall, but it hasn't affected me. even though I'm at home, this talk show keeps me busy 3 days a week, so I don't have time to think whether
Yeah,
I would go outside or not.
yeah. So I actually, I have a dog. I got a dog also a couple of months back during the lockdown because, I was like, I'm alone in my house and I'd rather have some company. So he's sleeping right now. So I've been, that's something that's been keeping me busy as well these days, raising a dog. Do you have dogs?
No, not here.
So, yeah. Had dogs while lots of, I'm learning how to raise a dog.
Since you're into sports, have you started watching the various football tournaments that have restarted
I,
without
I,
crowds?
I don't really follow a lot of the mainstream sports. I mean, except for Formula One, that's one sport I follow because I'm into motorsport racing. But apart from that, like I've never been interested in cricket. I'm sure
Yeah, I know.
you must have seen in school. I never was. I actually used to play football. I remember, but after school, shooting was my only thing I would
I
do.
remember shooting. I tried shooting in college for a while, and I was an amateur. I did try, but maybe it was all new for me, so I couldn't get going. But it was an interesting experience to try with the gun and do all those things. But it was a temporary setup because then they had moved out. But overall, even I'm not into sports, but I'm an analytical part of it. So yeah, I do follow F1 and motor racing. So when is F1 and motor racing returning to Singapore? And you can watch it, say 40, 50,000 people watching in the stadium. Will it ever happen again?
So it's obviously canceled for this year. So it normally happens, around August, September period. So and it should be happening soon, but it's obviously canceled this year. But it's very big in Singapore. So it happens every year, and it happens in the central part of Singapore.
I've seen it.
Where we met actually. So there, and it's pretty big. Everything is blocked. They block the roads, and you have a lot of after parties happening after the competition. So it's a fun time.
I've heard that along with Singapore and New Zealand are two of the countries where the cases are not many
Oh no, actually, I think New Zealand is definitely
there.
less, a lot of less, or I think it's probably
They have detected any cases.
But Singapore, I think they controlled it. However, it just kind of kept going up and up and up. And for the size of the city, because it's a very small island, like 5 million people in total. So compared to the tiny island, I think the cases are actually quite high. I think they're going down now. But yeah, so I think we had more cases here than you had in India because
That's the
India is
population
1.3
per
billion.
population
Yeah, because it's 1.3 billion people.
compared to
Compared
5
to,
million.
yeah.
That does make a. What new for Sahil? I mean, anything new he's going to do apart from recruitment and motor racing?
New these days, I think it's just my dog. I think he's the only new thing in my life because like I was just home alone and I've always wanted to raise a dog and I got one. I'll send you the photos later.
Yeah, sure.
He's a Labrador puppy and
That's nice.
he's a good guy. So so the first few weeks when I got him were so stressful. I would have sleepless nights. But nowadays, like I think I've trained him well, so he's well behaved now.
That's interesting. So, are you into? Do you play video games at home? Do you have time? PS3, Xbox games?
Oh no, I've never really been into all that. So, just my work keeps me busy. I mean, honestly, I don't think I get enough time, like, because I'm sorry I was late for your call as well, because every day is just so busy. Even when these days I should be more free because there shouldn't be as much work, but I've had so much work lately.
That happens. Work can pile up. That's very interesting.
I think I was probably coming from work or I had a meeting around
It
that
was
area.
somewhere around 6 in the
It
evening.
was, it was City Hall. I remember it was City Hall. You
Before that, I would come and have a sit-in video, even though it's through video interaction, but it still feels good that through a talk show I can interview somebody from Singapore, and there was Sartha who was from UK. So it was good to have international relations, literally.
Yeah, is he in UK?
He's in UK. So we also had a similar episode. Thank you for being on this special episode where we celebrated 2 years of this talk show, and it was great to celebrate this occasion with you.
Yeah. Likewise, man. It's always good to catch up with old friends.